I don't apologize. In the end, I don't care whether you love me or you hate me, just as long as I win.
Most people's number one fear is public humiliation. Okay? I don't give a anymore. I'm not afraid of it. Because I've had plenty. And now, it's just time for me to say, I'm tough. Because what does not kill you makes you strong.
Lazy people do a little work and think they should be winning, but winners work as hard as possible and still worry if they're being lazy. So if you're a winner, you ain't comfortable.
Maybe it was your time to lose. You didn't think so.
Lose? I don't lose! I win! I win! I'm a lawyer! That's my job! That's what I do!
There are two kinds of pain. Sort of pain that makes you strong, or useless pain. Sort of pain that's only suffering. I have no patience for useless things.
Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary.
If you're focused on the past, you're controlled by fear. If you're focused on the future, you're controlled by anxiety. If you focus on others, you're controlled by them. See, whatever you focus on owns you. If you focus on yourself, you're at peace.
How did you get to where you are? I became feelingless. And what that means is I'm not saying turn off your feelings towards your family, your wife, your husband. I'm not saying that. Turn your feelings off when it comes down to you wanting to be better. What that means is when that alarm clock goes off, your feelings got to go away. It's raining outside, it's cold outside, but you don't want to put those long hours in at work. That's what I'm talking about. Your feelings must go away.
I never feared about my skills, because I put in the work. Work ethic eliminates fear.
Yes.
So if you put forth the work, then what are you fearing? You know what you're capable of doing, what you're not.
There are no failures. There's only quitting. Every single hardship, every single obstacle is going to serve you if you allow yourself to let it serve you. So what these people think, their doubts and their criticism and their bullshit and their loser mentality, put it all up here on your shoulder, and when you don't feel like it, and when you're frustrated, and when you want to quit, take the proper amount out, and the proper amount is the amount that gets you off your ass and gets you executing. Because if you are executing day in and day out, no matter what, there is not a single fucking thing that can stop you.
Whatever you do, you've got to be a little bit gone to it. You're not all there. You've got to be almost insane to your craft. Not a lot of people can understand that. That's why I don't know about nothing else. I do not pay attention to nothing else. There was games of football on yesterday, there was rugby, there was this, there was that. And like normal society is like, let's talk about this and let's engage in this. And I can't do it. I just don't, people are talking to me and in my head I'm counting something. I'm counting up a number or I'm knee deep in a sequence on the mat or on the feet. That's my life, sequences and numbers, nothing else. I cannot pay attention to nothing else.
You love this game. I mean, that would be a fair shot. Because if you don't, it's not even bother. Let's not open a door, we're just gonna slam it right in the face. I love this game. I live this game. There's 1,000 other guys waiting in the wings who are obsessed with this game. Obsession's gonna be talent every time. You got all the talent in the world, but are you obsessed? Is it all you ever think about? Let's face it, it's you against you out there. When you walk on that court, you have to think, I am the best guy out there. I don't care if LeBron's playing.
You can't go back. Once you started this damn journey, you can only go forward. So, you got two choices. One, you get scared, you give up, and then you burn up. And the second one, you say, fuck fear! Then you barrel through it. And when you come out on the other side, I guarantee you, you're going to be stronger than you ever thought possible.
I wanted to run out of that tunnel for my dad. To prove to everyone that I worked.
What?
That I was somebody.
In this lifetime, you don't have to prove nothing to nobody except yourself. And after what you've gone through, if you haven't done that by now, it ain't gonna never happen.
You get up. You don't want to go run? You go run. You don't want to go swim? You go swim. You don't want to make your bed? You make your bed. You don't want to clean your house? You clean your house. You don't want to study? You study. That's how you start to callous your mind. If you say you're going to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go run, wake up at 4 o'clock it's going to suck. It's not going to be fun. Do something that sucks every single day of your life. That's how you grow.
How do you think that people ought to better understand who they are? And or, if you want to take it a second turn on it, what their purpose in life might be?
Well, you have to begin from the process of I have to know who I am, and it doesn't come easily because you're surrounded by voices. So you have to understand that you're cutting through this vast cloud of smoke, this screen that has been put in front of you that is preventing you from understanding yourself. So you have to look inward, and yet it takes time. It is a process like everything else.
I got to experience the beauty of true willpower. True you. I'm going to fail. I'm going to fail. I'm going to fail. I'm going to fail. And I will succeed.
You've never looked at yourself in the mirror and said, you let you down. Until you get to that point, you let you down. You're not brave enough. You want to put it on somebody else. The reason why I'm not successful is because of my boss. Have you ever looked at yourself in the mirror and said, I'm not getting up on time. I'm not going to work on time. I'm not putting in 120% when I'm at work. I let me down.
Ask your question. How much time do you have left? How much time do you have left? When you start thinking about that, we don't know. We don't know. Bobby took all the greatness and all of the talent and all of his abilities to his grave with him. One of the things he could have put in parenthesis under his name, he didn't use all his stuff. And most of us do that. Most of us don't use the stuff that we have brought into the universe. And we want to make a conscious, deliberate, determined effort to start living life with a sense of urgency and using what we've got. Using ourselves up. Sharing what we brought into the universe to share. Because if we don't, nobody else will.
If you want to give up, you can give up. This is your choice. You can do whatever you want. But how you gonna give up? Like so many years we were working together, and you only 26 years old. I remember myself when I was 26 and 33. This is too different. My prime time, it was 32, 33. Your time's gonna come, but you cannot give up.
And I've messed up my life so bad, I don't see how in the world I'm going to get out of it and move forward by taking a step. By taking a step. How big a step? How big a step can you take? Well, Dwayne, I can only take a little tiny step. Then take a little tiny step. But take a step. All right? Just take a step.
I've learned so much that all the pain was worth it. But that's I suppose, in some sense, putting a happy ending on something in a way that's just too trite. It's like, it was, most of that time I would have far rather been dead for all sorts of reasons. So now I'm perfectly happy that I'm not. But I haven't forgotten what that was like.
Fortune favors the strength, man. Favors the strong. It doesn't favor the weak. If you want good fortune in life, it doesn't come your way, man. You have to create it, man. You have to create your opportunities in life. They'll come in disguise. Well, if you're working hard and your pulse of life is always beating, that disguise is always seen. Most people that are feeling down and that are the losers of society, they're always looking for excuses, where the winners are looking for solutions. Those opportunities come in disguises where if you're in it to win it and that's your mentality, you see right through that disguise and you jump at it. Where some people are like, what are you doing, man? It makes no sense what you're doing. They don't understand it because they're not in it to win it. They're mentally fucking, they've already lost it. They've given up before they even started because mentally they don't believe in themselves. So, it's like when the winds of life don't hit your sail, you grab the oars of life and you start pushing your body, your boat, your vessel into the harbor of a known point that you want to be.
Keep that in mind, because every single person that you look up to, every single success story that inspires you, every single championship story that you say, damn dude, one day that's going to be me, they all went through this. Every fucking single one of them. So don't think it's just you, don't take it personal, but use it as fuel. Because if you can execute, you cannot be stopped. If you quit and you do retire back into the framework of normalcy, you know what they're going to say 10 years from now about you? They're going to say, yeah, he tried, but he fucking failed, just like I knew he would. So you can decide, do you want to go down the path and face the criticism and face the hate and face the frustration and face the pain and use it as fuel and then go on, win and inspire and teach and lift people up? Or do you want to retire into the framework of normalcy? Do you want to become like the people who are criticizing you? And then do you want to listen to them 10 years from now talk about how you almost made it?
Where you're going to fail and you're going to be in your head, you're going to be saying, I'm not good enough. And it's how you get through that. It's how you get through that on a daily basis when that thing is saying, man, I'm 43, I've done so much. You start to become civilized. The refrigerator gets full. You start making money and you start, I'm not getting cold anymore. I'm retired. At 40, people shouldn't be playing basketball or football or being in, you start to believe this shit. And it becomes in your mind like there's people who are retiring, at 40-something years old or 30-something years old. At 43, I'm still putting 100-mile weeks, still doing thousands of pull-ups, thousands of push-ups. Because I'm not allowing myself to become civilized. The worst thing that can happen to a man is become civilized. You lose that fight. You lose that. Why the f am I doing this shit? I'm good. You ain't good, man. You ain't never arrived. And that's just my mentality. You may have more, but you never can arrive. You want to be uncommon amongst uncommon people.
You've developed a false belief system in yourself of what you need to know to take action. And so successful people are willing to step into the unknown and the unprepared more than people who are unsuccessful. So procrastination is really saying, I got to know a little more. I got to prepare a little bit more. I got to get a little bit more ready, a little bit more ready, a little bit more ready. And you keep raising the readiness quota to a point where you never take action. And so you got to get to this point where you're like, I'm going to get into the room. I'm going to start to write that paper. I'm going to start the book. I'm going to get into that and I'll figure it out when I get there. And most people that are successful have this internal belief system that I don't need to know everything to take action. I just need to know enough to get in the room and I'll figure it out from there.
When you know within yourself that there's something you want to do, and I believe that all of us were born with a purpose, that all of us have something that we are supposed to do, that all of us have some goodness within us, and that goodness gives us a responsibility to manifest our greatness. And when you know that, you can feel it in your guts, and you know that you're deliberately operating below your potential, you've gotten comfortable, you stop expanding, you stop stretching, you stop challenging yourself. Let me share something else with you. Not only is it possible for you to have your dream, but it's necessary. It's necessary that you have it, that you work on it, that you develop yourself, that you go for what is yours in the universe.
The point is reached where the times change, things are different, because life is always changing. And that thing that you relied on, that strength that you have, is no longer so in demand. It's not so interesting. The culture has moved on, but you don't know how to move on because you're addicted to the same way of doing things. Who could continually adapt to circumstances, who just didn't have one form of power. He compared it, fortune is constantly shifting. You have to be able to shift with fortune and ride it keep riding it upward and upward. That would be like a superhuman being who could always adapt to circumstances, not change who they are, not suddenly be a confident person who's now really timid, but to use your confidence in a different manner when the time asks for something different.
It made an impression on me, and since then, for the past 33 years, I've looked in the mirror every morning and asked myself, if today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I am about to do today? And whenever the answer has been no for too many days in a row, I know I need to change something. Remembering that I'll be dead soon is the most important tool I've ever encountered to help me make the big choices in life. Because almost everything, all external expectations, all pride, all fear of embarrassment or failure, these things just fall away in the face of death, leaving only what is truly important. Remembering that you are going to die is the best way I know to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose.
For kids to bet on themselves. Take some chances, get your knowledge, know what you're doing, and then go 2 feet in and then bet on yourself. If you go to somebody, you ask somebody, and they shoot you down, don't let that be the answer. You have a passion for something and it's burning. It's your job to curate that passion. I really believe that. And you don't take no's for answers.
We all have ambitions. We all have dreams and goals and desires that we want. But really what gets you to where you want are habits, are daily habits. There are negative habits that you can't get rid of. But there are other habits that, like discipline, like working every day, like taking steps to reach your goals, that are immensely liberating. And you can get rid of your bad habits through developing positive habits, right? So the goal here is to focus less on the giant dreams and on the everyday process of changing your thinking.
There's no secret.
Yeah.
It's just hard work.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I hate to say it, man. Everybody goes, what is your secret, man? What's your secret about business? What's your secret about this? What's your secret about that? You don't want the answer. The answer is, you see these hands?
Hard work.
Hard work, man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm not going to voodoo some shit. I'm not a magician. It's not magic. It's literally, you're going to have to wake up.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to sit there and say, today's going to suck. And then when that day is over, you're going to wake up again and say, fuck.
Yeah.
The next day is going to suck.
Yeah.
And that's going to be your life.
Yeah.
There is no greatness without stillness in it. And I think that's right. What kind of success do you have if you miss every sunrise and sunset, if you're always busy, if you never have time with your family, but also if you never have time with yourself? And so if you don't have moments of stillness in your life, I would ask you what kind of life you're living. And if the kind of life you're living is really your best life.
You want to begin to take some chances. You want to begin to challenge yourself and make it okay to fail and learn from your failures. Don't allow fear of failure and the allure, the attractiveness of playing it safe in life to draw you in. You can't get out of life alive. You got to die to leave here.
It might seem like that's an unwinnable battle, but really to me, it's not about winning. It's the battle itself. It's the struggle. It's the daily test. That's what life's about. Not just physically, but mentally. Getting that rock to the top of the mountain. That's not what my goal is. My goal actually is pushing the rock. Because pushing the rock, that pushes me. That makes me tougher. That makes me harder, mentally and physically. It gives me much more than I give it. I want to struggle. I want to grind and claw and scratch, and I want to dig in and I want to push. And I don't want it to end. If I ever got the rock to the top of the mountain and it stayed there, I'd push it back down myself.
My thinking is so superior, my knowledge is so positive, and my logic is so wise until it clashes with the mentality, which is down here and I'm up there. So by me being so high, I can see more and see farther than you. And you're looking up at me saying, Ali, don't do it. Don't do it. Ali, please stop when it hurts. Ali, don't do it. But I'm at such a high level until I don't think like you. I'm not like you. I'm not saying you, I mean I'm that person.
But you know why they say that. I mean, it's for the best possible reason. So.
They have fear and they are aware it looks dangerous to them.
That's
but
right.
It's not really that dangerous to me.
If you lost in a game, you have to show during this period or during that you are pissed. It's part of. But next day, I'm very capable and I learn that, listen, Cristiano, let's go. Life continue. Past is past, it's never come again. The present, it's the best gift that we have in our life. The present. Because you don't know that what's going to happen tomorrow. You don't know. I don't know, you don't know. So live the present.
If you do not have clear goals for your life, you are condemned forever to work for those who do. You see, in life, it's very simple. Either you are working toward the accomplishment of your goals or you're working toward the accomplishment of other people's goals.
Do you view this season as a failure?
There's always steps to it. You know, Michael Jordan played 15 years, won 6 championships. The other 9 years was a failure? That's what you're telling me? No, I'm asking you a question. Yes or no? Okay, exactly. So why are you asking me that question? It's a wrong question. There's no failure in sports. You know, there's good days, bad days. Some days you are able to be successful, some days you're not. Some days it's your turn, some days it's not your turn. And that's what sports is about. You don't always win. Some other people's gonna win. And this year somebody else is gonna win. Simple as that. You're gonna come back next year, try to be better, try to build good habits, try to play better, not have a 10-day stretch with playing bad basketball. You know, and hopefully we can win a championship.
People think being consistent means never falling off track, but that's not true. That's called perfection. And for most, that's just not realistic. Consistency means staying on track most of the time. And when you fall off, whether it was intentional or not, you pick yourself up and you get right back on. Consistency is about being persistent, not perfect.
Whatever time that you have to attack like you're trying to save the world. You're trying to save your life. You don't want to drown. That 1.5 hours a day that you have to write, God damn, you better be caffeinated and motivated. You got to go. You got to get after it. And you got to have discipline. Most people don't have those things. Most people don't understand what it's like to really go for something. And to know that the consequences of not doing that are horrific.
You do not have time to fuck around. You don't have time to play games, to be in everybody's face, to not be focused on your goals. Every single day counts. You didn't do nothing yesterday and you didn't do nothing today. Every single day that you don't do nothing, bro, is a day wasted. It's a day that you could have got better.
You guys need to start taking responsibility for your actions. When you start taking responsibility for your actions, you start to find the belief in what you're doing. The passion behind it. You create value in what you're doing. There's no longer mundane tasks. Everything has a purpose and an end state. There's a direction to a designation. If you don't like the destination you're going to, well, you can't change that overnight. You cannot change it overnight. But you can change the direction overnight. So if you are looking at your life right now, and what you do every single day, and it's a one-way street to hell with no return, that's not so appealing to me, man. I don't want to be part of that. So get off that fucking beaten path society says is so right. Believe in yourself and what you're doing, man. Say that. Now that is going into nowhere. I don't want to be nowhere. I want to ensure that I am some value to somebody.
No one has ever achieved anything if they haven't faced failures, if they haven't had disappointments. To achieve anything in life, you have to be prepared to take on the odds, face disappointment. You only lose when you give up. If you do not give up, you will win from the most incredible positions. The fight is in the mind. It's not physical, it's in the mind.
People fail those 1 seconds. And then that 1 second leads to 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. I have people who have been through training with me Ranger school, SEAL training, Air Force training, and I get calls from them today, and they have great lives. And all they talk about is how they failed in that one moment. And they can't even enjoy their life now because they're now warm. They're now warm. There's no more suffering. There's no more suffering for me either. And we're in the same boat now. But you're suffering. So we're not suffering, but you're thinking about what you could have been. I am exactly what I should have been. And that's where people start to lose it.
You must become a vigilant gatekeeper of everything you allow to go into your mind. Anything that gets into your mind is entering holy ground. When you recognize who you really are and why you've been put on this earth, you'll start to understand why the enemy works so hard to stop you, why the negative thoughts and the self-doubt seem to come at you like bullets out of nowhere. You were not put on this earth to be average. You weren't put here to sit the sidelines. You were not put here to fail. You were given gifts and talents and skills so that you could go out and make a difference. You were put here for a reason and a purpose. You were put here to be great.
You can have anything you want if you do this. They're willing to go 10 times harder with a gun in their face to not die. And so if you take fear and regress it all the way down to its basis form, like that's what the insecurity is. Like if they think I won't be enough, and if they don't think I won't be enough, then this won't happen. If this won't happen, this won't happen, I'll be alone, I'll be dead. Right? Like if you just regress it all the way down, like that's all it is. And so like the biggest achievers in life, I think, have most directly tied them not doing whatever it is that they want to do to death, whether they're consciously aware of it or not. And then that's what motivates them harder.
It's not really about what you want. It's about what you're willing to do to get it. And in that, maybe you have to give something up that may not be a good habit to replace it with a better habit. Everybody got to make that decision. So it's not just about what you want. It's about what are you willing to do to get it. That's what it all comes down to, guys.
All your media naysayers. Oh, scoring champion, can't win an NBA title. Well, you're not as good as Magic Johnson, you're not as good as Larry Bird. You're good, but you're not as good as those guys. I had to listen to all this, and that put so much wood on that fire that it kept me each and every day trying to get better as a basketball player. Now, I'm not saying they were wrong. I may have looked at them from a different perspective, but at the same time, as a basketball player, I'm trying to become the best that I can, and for someone like me who achieved a lot in over the time of my career, you look for any kind of messages that people may say or do to get you motivated to play the game of basketball at the highest level, because that is when I feel like I excel at my best.
It can do. All it takes is determination. You'll get your chance. Sometimes it doesn't come as quick as you'd like. There's a lot of hurdles, but you will get there. You have to believe in that.
Great minds discuss ideas. Average minds discuss events. Small minds discuss people. See, great minds can see into the future. Average minds can't see beyond the present. And small minds stay stuck in the past. What idea did you discuss today?
If you had the opportunity to play this game of life, you need to appreciate every moment. A lot of people don't appreciate their moment until it's past.
God, I feel like I'm missing something. Yeah, because it's about 75% of you is still in there. Still chained up because you just didn't want to find your willpower, didn't want to find your soul, your will, your heart, your determination, your guts, your courage. And what that looks like, it looks scary, like your little scary lab I went in. Scary to wake up every day and say, I'm stupid, but I want to figure out a way to be smarter, versus saying, man, I just can't do that. So you limit this box. So your box becomes so small of things you can do.